It's Foreign News O'Clock on Allnews Nigeria. I am Opeyemi Olubimi. Here are the headlines for today. Andrew Tate to face trial in Romania. MP gets death threat following Andrew Tate's comment. Russia accused of violating treaty. Now the news in detail. Controversial TikTok sensation Andrew Tate is set to appear in court in Romania on Wednesday as lawyers argue he should be released. The British-American national and his brother Tristan have been held in custody since 29 December 2022 on suspicion of human trafficking, rape, and forming an organized crime group. Recall that Andrew Tate many times have said women belong in the home, can't drive, and are a man's property. He also thinks rape victims must bear responsibility for their attacks and dates women aged 18 to 19 because he can make an imprint on them, according to his videos posted online. In other clips, the British-American kickboxer, who poses with fast cars, guns, and portrays himself as a cigar-smoking playboy, talks about eating and choking women, trashing their belongings, and stopping them from going out. It's alleged that Andrew Tate and his brother recruited their female victims by seducing them and falsely claiming to want a relationship or marriage. Prosecutors say the women were then forced to produce pornographic content under duress. The kickboxer turned TikTok influencer is also accused of raping one of the victims last March. He, however, denied the allegations.
I don't interest in trying to frame me, but God knows the truth. There's no evidence in my files. I've done nothing wrong.
Earlier this month, a court extended their preventative custody period to 27 February. Famous for misogynistic content, Tate has a huge following despite being banned from most mainstream social media platforms. Meanwhile, Labour MP Alex Davies-Jones has said she was bombarded with death and rape threats after criticizing the controversial influencer Andrew Tate. Alex Davies-Jones said she received abuse over email as well as to her office after raising concerns about the impact of misogynistic videos.
In the recent weeks after I've spoken out about the horrendous abuse and behaviour of Andrew Tate online, and as a result my own inbox and my office have been bombarded with death threats, rape threats as a result, and the police have been brilliant, but sadly this isn't the case for everyone who experiences the same.
She reviewed the threats when speaking in a debate on neighbourhood policing in the Commons, offering her thanks to the local force in Pontypridd. Earlier this month, Ms. Davies-Jones spoke about the influence of Tate on younger people, saying teachers are now having to develop their own resources to re-educate boys who are being brainwashed online by his deeply toxic messaging. The former Big Brother contestant and kickboxer is currently being held on suspicion of rape and human trafficking in Romania, allegations he denies. Finally, on the news, the United States has accused Russia of violating the New START Treaty, the last major pillar of post-Cold War nuclear arms control between the two countries, saying Moscow was refusing to allow inspection activities on its territory. The treaty came into force in 2011 and was extended in 2021 for 5 more years. It caps the number of strategic nuclear warheads that the United States and Russia can deploy and deployment of land and submarine-based missiles and bombers to deliver them. The two countries, which during the Cold War were constrained by a tangle of arms control agreements, still accounts together for about 90% of the world's nuclear warheads. Washington has been keen to preserve the treaty, but ties with Moscow are the worst in decades over Russia's invasion of Ukraine, an element that could complicate attempts by Joe Biden's administration to maintain and reach a follow-on agreement. On Monday, Russia told the United States that the treaty would expire in 2026 without a replacement because it said Washington was trying to inflict strategic defeat on Moscow in Ukraine. Moscow in August 2022 suspended cooperations with inspections under the treaty, blaming travel restrictions imposed by Washington and its allies after Russian forces invaded neighbor Ukraine in February last year, but said it was still committed to complying with the provisions of the treaty. That's it on today's news. To keep up with All News Nigeria, kindly follow us on all social media platforms displayed on the screen. We'll be back with more news updates tomorrow. Until then, stay tuned. I remain Okwemi Olubemi.